the hive city Katunga. The planet Katunga had been rapidly stripped of its lush vegetation and fertile soil since its development into an imperial industrial world in the year 37,000. Within a few centuries, rivers dried up and entire landscapes silted up. Another consequence of industrialization was the thinning of the atmospheric layers, which could no longer retain the heat radiation of the planet's sun for long. This resulted in large temperature fluctuations, while sandstorms raged across the vast deserts of the planet. In short, the ruthless industrialization of the planet had turned it into a hostile wasteland. The only place where human life could exist was the hive city Katunga, a city of enormous dimensions where 100 trillion souls worked, lived, and died continuously in the name of the Holy Emperor. Their busy lives were short, deprived, and served only one purpose: to ensure that the unstoppable flow of servitor technology on which the Empire had become so dependent never stopped. What Katunga produced in biotech amplifiers and servitor implants was impressive compared to other industrial worlds. The confidence of the ruling technocrat guilds, some of which consisted of members of the Honorable Adeptus Mechanicus, had swelled accordingly. The production processes had been optimized to such an extent that a confusing web of dependencies had developed between the thousands and thousands of production facilities in the hive city. One product was transformed into the next, expanded or divided, refined or melted down, only to be transported to the next production facility via the monorails that ran through Katunga like worms through a rotten apple. If just one single operation failed to meet the planned margin, entire production processes could be disrupted. In order not to disturb this delicate balance of dependencies, the adepts prevented production losses by threatening draconian punishments. But now something had happened that should not have happened. The adepts of the Mechanicus had predicted an impending localized production failure in Industrial District 907, which by all calculations had the potential to bring the entire planetary production chains to a halt. But strangely enough, the missing intermediate product was a tiny special rubber seal. However, even the adepts could no longer say exactly what it was used for in the confusion of production processes. They were all the more astonished that, according to their calculations, the long-term failure of the production of this seal would lead to a disease of the entire planetary production chain, at the end of which the entire product would collapse. That was unacceptable. On this occasion, it was decided to make personal contact with the foreman of the industrial area via a Vox connection, a process that was very unusual in the otherwise fully automated production chain, as personal arrangements were considered inefficient and error-prone. However, when dialing into the Vox channel assigned to the district, all that could be heard was static. At this point, it was decided to send a Katunga Armed Forces reconnaissance team to reintegrate the lost Industrial District 907 into the production chain.